First of all, Nick, thank you so much for taking your time to do this video with me. I just wanted to introduce you to our community, but could you just tell me a bit more about yourself? I obviously know you, but I'd love to, if you, in your own words,
Yeah,
what's your background?
yeah, sure. So I'm a front-end developer. I've been doing it for a few years now. Previously, I'm an ex-professional skateboarder. I did that for the best part of a decade.
Wow.
I do still skate, but just not kind of professionally anymore or competitively. Um, and then I kind of had a little bit of a pivot into coding. I kind of got into it because I was quite intrigued. Initially, I got into it because I was intrigued about how it could, the possibility of it helping promote neuroplasticity, and kind of preventing cognitive decline. And I was kind of quite interested in that kind of side of it. And that's why I actually initially got into coding.
Brilliant.
And then, yeah, I'd mentioned it to a friend, and he was working for a development company. He was doing graphic design there, and he asked if I wanted to come in and help out with a couple of projects, which it was all front end stuff. I hadn't done that before, but like I said, I kind of mentioned to him that I'd been doing programming, and I kind of went in and did a few projects with them, and it kind of just went from there. Really, they kept me on, and that was my first junior role.
Amazing. So, I mean, I speak to developers day in and day out, and I've never ever had a developer that I've worked with before who was an ex professional skateboarder. That's quite a unique turn to go from something so high risk, I suppose you could say, something so intense
Yeah.
into development. So, I mean, what do you think it is that appealed to you about coding in general, from going from a career as a professional skateboarder into something a bit more, in front of your computer day in? Yeah, what was it that really appealed?
The mental stimulation side of it, I think. I love the lifestyle of skateboarding. It was great, but I felt like there was always something where I wasn't quite getting enough fulfillment. And I think that was mostly around kind of, yeah, mental stimulation, which obviously coding and programming provides that.
Amazing. No, that's good to know. I mean, in your personal opinion, what traits do you think an individual needs to have to be good at coding and make it as a coder?
I think drive, persistence, a little bit of stubbornness, and some self-belief, I think, which is something with coding. Along the way, I've kind of like struggled with that and thought, oh, maybe it wasn't for me. But I really enjoy doing it. And when you kind of do find that, I know that you can actually do it and have that belief that you can do it. I think anybody can.
Brilliant. No, that's good. And so far you're, going from the adrenaline of skateboarding to the adrenaline of coding. Is that intensity still there?
It's a different type of intensity for sure, but there is the challenge of it is I can kind of like compare that intensity of it.
Yeah.
Because with skating, it's like you're trying something over and over again, and you can be doing it for hours or days. Or if you're trying to film something, you might be going back to a spot for days. And it's a kind of similar process with challenges in coding. If you're problem solving and it's something that you just can't get your head around or whatever it is, and then when you crack it, you get that intense level of satisfaction, and there's a comparison there.
Yes, it's that almost like problem solving, but I guess the common denominator may be persistence, just that persistent strive to get
persistence.
It right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, persistence, and consistency as well. Consistency definitely helps for sure.
Brilliant.
And that's self-belief.
Amazing, good stuff. No, that's great. And if you were to sort of advise your younger self, or what advice would you give to somebody who was thinking or curious about going into coding? What advice would you give them?
I'd say just kind of test the waters. Maybe find some. There's so many free resources online. You've got like free code camp for example. Getting on there, maybe giving that a little go. Code Academy, trying your hand at a language or two, seeing how you feel about it. And like when I started initially with coding, I didn't really have a goal. It was just I was more interested about the kind of implications for cognitive functions and plasticity. So I guess it's just finding your own path and seeing what if you're interested in it at first, and then it just kind of going from there and seeing if you can find your little niche.
Brilliant. No, that's fantastic. Well, for anyone who needed to hear that, you've heard it from somebody who's gone from being a ex-professional sportsman, ex-professional skateboarder, to now a fully fledged front-end developer, working full-time in front-end development and still loving it.
Yeah, absolutely. And also as well, I kind of got into it at a later age. I kind of got into it in my 30s. So I think the other thing is as well is like, don't let that be kind of an obstruction. I don't think you're ever too old to get into it, whether it's for fun or professionally.
Yeah.
You know, never too old to do something.
Absolutely. Like you said, there's so many resources there. You know, it's a try before you buy kind of scenario. But, you know, if you're thinking of a career switch, you don't have to quit your day job immediately. Go and try out some online courses, see how you feel about it, discover your language, and just give it a go, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you, Louise.